The more water you drink, the more your own aura will expand. When you drink water, it's wonderful to charge it. Take the water, hold it on each side, or top and bottom, and do the same thing I was talking about with healing, and heal the water in a sense. Bring in that incredible sense of self so far up that you reach beyond anything that's even identified with yourself. Go beyond the boundaries of you to the boundaries of everything. Be the cosmic being. Bring that blissful, bright, sunny energy into the water. And when you drink that water, it will change your aura much more than just drinking water that you've not charged in that way. Be grateful for the water, love it, communicate with it, thank it, and when you do that, when you put that charge into it, you'll change the water itself. Carolyn and I have seen that happen numerous times. Every time when one of us charges the water or somebody else charges it and any of us drinks it, we pass it around, don't tell each other which one is which, we watch, and the aura immediately bounces out larger. Because when you're doing healing work, you want your aura to be very large. You don't want it to be thin and weak. You need a strong aura when you're doing healing to protect yourself and to be successful. Being out in the sunshine is very helpful for making your aura larger and stronger and more substantial, more tough. If you can do that before or even during your healing or after, it's very helpful. Barbara Brennan, in her Hands of Light teachings, says that you should never do healing under fluorescent lights, and if you do, that can affect the healer for years in negative ways. And I think that's probably true because in any case, being under fluorescent lights is bad for a person's health, mood, aura. And I've noticed that in working under fluorescent lights, it was much harder to let go of the auric contagion. Another thing that you should do before healing is to just get your consciousness out of the way. You don't want to be trying to figure something out rationally. You want to be a clear channel. At times you can just send energy through and have no idea why or what's going through. You can feel like flickering flames of fire, licks of fire, each one with its own frequency, an orchestrated movement of healing energies, and consciously you may not know what they are at all. One thing that I've noticed when I'm doing healing work with people is that there's a kind of bond that grows between us, and sometimes if something needs to come up in that person's body, it will show itself to me at that time and show itself to Carolyn at the same time. For example, someone who has a heart condition may have had it all along, but at one particular moment it may present itself as, oh, there's a spot there now. And it may have something to do with what we just did in the healing work. Now it's time to use what we just did in conjunction with that spot and make it go away. I want to give you an example of yesterday, perfectly ordinary day of healing with Carolyn and Dale. There have been a lot of extraordinarily healing experiences between the three of us, and this one just happened to be the first one in a long time because I've been gone and have returned to Alabama and am working with the two of them again. I had been looking at Dale's aura with my eyes closed earlier to see what it looked like, and I could see a lot of blue around his feet. And I didn't know particularly that his feet were more problematic than usual. He has diabetes and he doesn't have good circulation in his feet. But when I asked her about the color, she also noticed the blue in his feet. and we took his socks off because I was going to do reflexology treatment, and the actual skin tone was very blue, which neither one of us had never seen before. And so that was a circulation issue when I was working on his feet, and they were blue. As I did the healing work, the blue color went away. Another thing I saw with my eyes closed in his aura was a kind of sticky green mucousy kind of color that was not only in his lungs but also up in his sinuses and coming from his brain. There was some question at the time, or the doctors thought it was coming from congestive heart failure, but my sense was that it was more an infection or something related to the brain itself, the sinuses, the head, and that it was all one thing draining down. And Carolyn also said then that that's what she saw as well, all one piece of that green aura that was then draining more after that, after I had done some work and it became more obvious that it was related with the sinuses. It had just been clogged before and had not been draining as much. So I worked with him doing reflexology, rubbing on the feet and pushing on the points that affect the other parts of the body. And as I would work on his feet, it would help his aura. Carolyn could see it grow larger and brighter, and she saw a lot of movement in it. Now, one thing I've found very helpful with reflexology is to use sage on it afterwards. It's even nice to hold sage yourself when you're doing healing as a protective mechanism. Hold sage in one hand, heal with the other. When you do reflexology on someone, it releases a lot of toxins into their aura. And those toxins are being processed, and it can be difficult. Just like a person needs to drink water, it's nice to flush out the aura as well, and that can be done with the sage. It also calms the movement that happens in the aura, which is related sometimes to the pain of a reflexology treatment. Taking the sage and rubbing it over the feet where you've just worked can help calm the aura, and if a person can't handle pain or can't handle the pressure on their feet, just doing the sage can have an incredible effect on their health. Carol and I have both seen how it clears up problematic areas in the aura. For example, Dale had a lot of cloudiness in the chest area over the lungs, which we could see. Rubbing sage over the lung areas and chest areas in the foot helped that cloudiness improve.